What it do, y'all? It's your brother man from the motherland coming to you guys live from the NY. Back with another one. For those that don't know, I am Jones, the original Jew by blood, not by conversion. You know, we out here splurging with the world, with the word. Round of applause for that. Yes, yes, yes. Um, Gotta give a shout out to all those that have been tuning in, supporting, striving this righteous ministry, bringing it to new heights. Praise the Most High for that. Gunshot salute to y'all. But yo, first of all, let me shout out, Mav Hoffa and my expert's opinion. Brooklyn. It's always Brooklyn first. You know what I'm saying? Anybody from the NY know how Brooklyn give it up. We show love. It's never about disrespect, especially when a brother is doing what he's doing, especially from what he had to overcome to be in a position that he's in. Praise the Most High for that. But I wanted to touch on something. And shout out to my big bro Red, man, because big bro Red is the reason why I even decided to even tune in, right? So, uh, Mav Hoffa had a guest, Mr. Cart Clant from Brooklyn. Shout out to him. And he said something that I agree, but also disagree, right? He said something of cultivating our culture, which is hip hop. He said that it's important for up and coming MCs to learn the history of hip hop. And to a degree, I agree. I'll be honest. I feel that every person that decides to be a MC should know the mathematics. You know what I'm saying? Like how the 5 percenters, they know today's mathematics is green star and all the fugazi that they be talking. But the fact that you should know the simple things, that you should know that hip hop started in the Bronx. You should know that, you know, hip hop is something that we've created and we need to keep a stamp on it. Meaning we gotta keep the hip hop is gonna go as far as we go with it, right? But when he said cultivating it and understanding it, I I don't really think cultivating a culture that promotes negativity and violence is something that, we should be standing on. What I mean is, yes, hip hop is plays a very important part in the colored community, but it's also detrimental. And you can't cultivate something that comes with violence, right? So when he used the term Islam, like you spoke to a Muslim man, is cultivating, because what's cultivating behind the substance of Islam, whether my stance on it, but for those, it's a uplifting, it's to bring peace, it's to bring unity, it's to bring joy. Hip hop doesn't provide that. Hip hop is not like rock and roll. Hip hop is not like jazz. Hip hop is not like pop. Hip hop is a very competitive, egotistic platform where brothers come on these things to promote and tell the world why they're better than X, Y, and Z, right? Just like in basketball, and hip hop and the NBA is hand in hand, right? Because when you talk about basketball, right? Majority of these young players coming up now does not know basketball about the 50s and 60s. A lot of these children now know basketball from Jordan. And the only reason why they know basketball about Jordan is because of the sneakers. I'm just being honest. The sneakers, the video games. But nobody can go as far back as the 1950s. Nobody's not going to remember Wilt Chamberlain, as great as he is. Bill Russell, as great as they are. When the conversations of the greatest of all times, they're not mentioned ever. And I'm talking about for my generation, and I'm talking about my generation, and even the generation before me, and this new generation now. They're not talking about that. They're talking about LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry. These are the things that these generations is talking about. So it's really hard to cultivate something like hip hop because of what hip hop has done. And again, like I tell, like I stated before, and I hope one day, if it be the Father's will, I get to sit down with the big bro, and I'm going to tell him that the foundation of hip hop died once we allow these heathens to get their hands on. When we gave them the creative right behind it, right? When you look at hip hop right now, right? Who gets signed? What are you getting signed for? If you come on the platform talking about fight the power, you're not getting no sign, no radio play, no nothing. Right? So how can we cultivate something that's not even there's not even a balance of wisdom and education that comes along with that? The only thing that you're gonna be cultivating is promoting violence because that's all hip hop is. This is what hip hop is. What made hip hop blow up is the violence. The East Coast West Coast beef was the violence. Nobody's not remembering Brenda had a baby. Nobody's not remembering that. People's remembering hit him up. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I'm saying that because you can't cultivate something that's demoralizing to a people, to a nation, to a community. You cannot. Hip hop has become a demoralizing tool. It's a platform that's put in place to disrespect, violate, and corrupt the minds of the youth and also of adults. Let's not act like the majority of us becoming gangsters and want to be tough guys has us wanting to be that don't stem from music, being exposed to that, listening to that every day. You understand? There's no more I need love. It's what I'm gonna do to a shorty. You can't cultivate something that that promotes mocking God. You get what I'm saying? And I don't want to sound and the brother had very valid points and I respect it. I'm from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? I totally agree that you should know the basics. You should know about Nas, you know what I'm saying? Illmatic, Life After Death, you know what I'm saying? Even Get Rich or Die Trying. Like, and I'm just using these albums, these classical albums that you should have in your arsenal, study and put the craft together, Reasonable Doubt as well. You know what I'm saying? To me, it was probably Jay-Z's hardest album of them all. You know what I'm saying? Where you can sit down and you can see the craft behind it. And that's the same thing with basketball. You got to at least know about Jordan. and how dominant he was. You must know about Shaquille O'Neal and how dominant he was. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you to go back to to Kumo G and all of that. Like nobody's not going that far back because we can't relate to that. I can't even relate to the hip, the hop, the hippie, the hip hop. So you can't cultivate something that you know we can't relate to. But yes, the standard, because even at that, right? Even when I'm the hip, the hop, whatever, that was like premature music. You understand? Like it wasn't the complete package, right? Where you see you listen to Life After Death and you listen to Nas and you listen to these other MCs who gave you the complete package. Love storytelling, music for the women, music for the streets, music for the radio. You know what I'm saying? These wasn't back then. So I can't tell somebody to study something back then that's not going to be beneficial for them now. You feel me? So you can't cultivate that. Yes, they should have, yes, there should be a level of education and understanding, but that comes from the OGs. You got to do that, right? Funk Master Flex got to push that. People that still got their hands inside the game got to do that. You know what I'm saying? These people are deliberately being pushed aside by the machine because they know that if these people is still around, it's gonna be hard for them to keep these up and coming youth under hypnosis. It could raise a level of consciousness. They don't need too many Kendrick Lamar's and J. Cole's running around. They give you the listen, give them these two people, and everybody else is shoot them up, bang bang. Give them these two people, and everybody else is shoot them up, bang bang. So you can't cultivate violence because that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is violence. You cannot cultivate hip hop, and it's sad, but it's the truth. You can't cultivate it. And you can't cultivate something, a so-called culture that is not us. That culture died when we started talking about drugs. It died when we wanted to be mobsters and gangsters and we affiliated with gang violence. Those things wasn't these are not stuff we created. Okay, gangs came when it was a culture when we created. It was in gangs. It was Boy Scouts. You understand? When it became a gang when these heathens put their stuff in our community, made us chase the things that wasn't cultural. We chased the things of European descent. We wanted to follow. We wanted to be like the Europeans. We lost that. Once you go and start mimicking and mocking other people's ways of living, whether it's luxurious or not, once you mock it and it's not yours, it's not authentic. Because you put a slur behind it and you say the word nigga, but yet you want to be a mobster, you want to be Scarface, you want to do all of this. That's not us. It's no longer us. You're following the machine. So you can't cultivate something and claim a culture that has been tampered with. I say this all the time. You cannot cultivate or claim something that has been created and manifested by other people that doesn't look like us, that don't come from our community. In fact, the people that we're mocking once said, we don't want no parts of you, NIGGA. So you got to make that make sense. We do not have a culture. Hip hop will never be hip hop will never be where it needs to be until we take complete control over it. You can't cultivate something that we have no control over. You don't dictate who's the next superstar is. They do. You don't dictate who's gonna get the biggest advance money. or budget. They do. So by default, the fact that they have that power, that means you don't have a culture. They do. Hip hop is run and owned by these heathens. So until we take that back, until the billionaires like Jay-Z, Nas, all of these people with bread, all of these pioneers, including you, Mr. Clark, got a beautiful house in Brooklyn. That means you sitting well. Until you guys come together, you understand? And establish something that is completely color owned, where you determine and you held people responsible for the type of music you hear. It gotta go through. It gotta go through y'all tables. It gotta go to the gods' tables, and they say, "Nah, this is not qualified. Trash. Not qualified. Trash." Until then, you can't cultivate it. I'm sorry. It's your brother, man, from the motherland. I came to you guys live. Continue supporting. You know what it is. You know who I represent. You know where I'm from, man. I'm a holler.